Hello, I'm Glenn Baker from House 78. Thank you for having you guys here today, and hopefully we'll get started on something we all can be happy with.
I'm Sharon Teague, and I represent District 65 in South Fulton.
Representative Pedro Marín, House District 96. Representante Pedro Marín del Distrito 96.
Hi, Representative Simone Bell. I represent areas of DeKalb County and Fulton County, District 58.
Roger Bruce, I represent District 64, South Fulton County, Douglas County, parts of the city of Atlanta.
I'm Representative Nedmore James, District 135, from Macon County, represent parts of Julie, parts of Taylor, parts of Tyler, parts of Peter, and all of Macon, in the heart of the farm country.
Al Williams, I represent District 165, Liberty County, heart of the seafood country.
Matt Jackson, represent District 142.
In the audience, we have in the far back our leader of the caucus, Stacey Abrams from DeKalb and the city of Atlanta. We have here on the right Representative Sandra Scott. Would you stand up, Sandra? From Clayton County. And then we actually have a senator here as well. On the left-hand side, we have Senator Nan Orrock, who's here, who represents the city of Atlanta. We also have Representative Virgil Flood, who is here, who represents Fayette County and parts of Fulton County. Are there any legislators? And Representative Craig Gordon from the great city of Savannah in the back is here as well.
You need some tickets.
And then Representative Ernest Smith just walked in. If you'll wave your hand for us, he's here as well from the House Democratic Caucus. So we'll get started. We know why we're here on the repeal of House Bill 87. Many of us in the Democratic Caucus who did not support the legislation believe that it would have a negative impact on Georgia, particularly our economic recovery, jobs and job creation, and our constitutional and civil rights here in Georgia. And so we're here today to receive testimony from those who are affected, those who are experts on the bill, to tell us how we can actually reverse the negative effects that this legislation has had on the state. So we'll be looking at repealing House Bill 87. We'll also be looking at receiving testimony on E-Verify legislation as well. I'd like to start with Representative Pedro Marín, who will be carrying the legislation to repeal House Bill 87, to give us a brief overview of the legislation. As he makes his way to the podium, he'll be followed by Representatives Mac Jackson and Glenn Baker, who will be carrying the legislation on the E-Verify legislation.
Big man coming. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes. We're here today to repeal HB-87. HB-87 is a failed attempt at immigration reform. It has simply served to cripple Georgia's economy. We're determined to repeal HB-87 and suspend E-Verify in our hopes of promoting rural recovery and economic security for Georgia's farmers and families. Across the farms of Georgia, HB-87 has caused a wave of economic misery. According to the Department of Agriculture, 21% of farms reported loss of workers and 26% reported loss of revenue due to the lack of workers. According to the most modest estimate, Georgia farmers lost a reported $75 million within the first 6 months of the law enactment. This $75 million is real money to the thousands of family farms, small grocers, and shop owners who rely on Georgia's agricultural industry to survive. Right now, farmers are talking about doing less, and we don't need in this state to do less, we need to do more. The Rural Recovery Act of 2012 will repeal HB-87 in its entirety, which will take Georgia off the list of states seen and hostile to farm workers. Due to the harsh provisions, documented immigrants, workers refuse to take work in Georgia. Federal courts have already enjoined major provisions, including the ability of police to racial profile in search of undocumented immigrants and to hold churches and nonprofits guilty of trafficking when serving immigrants. The act will also stop E-Verify in Georgia, halting the imposition of new regulation on businesses struggling to recover from the economic crisis.